Welcome to the 2013 Shocker MINDSTORMS Robotics Competition. We're live at Wichita State University's Heskett Center, where 31 teams of 4th through 8th grade students are building and programming robots to complete courses built by WSU engineering students. The Shocker MINDSTORMS competition is in its 13th year at Wichita State University. The competition started out with funding from Boeing that provided robotics equipment for teachers to use in their classrooms. The Lego bricks in the MINDSTORMS kits were very familiar to students and teachers and easy to use. But what made these Lego kits unique was the addition of the microcomputer, or the brain of the robot. Sensors, motors, gears, wheels, and other pieces allowed kids to make moving, programmable robots instead of just the great Lego stationary creations they'd been used to. WSU's College of Education put together a teacher education class to teach teachers how to utilize this equipment in their classroom to teach STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics concepts. And WSU College of Engineering students built great challenge boards to give the purpose for the students and the teachers to actually build and put their robots to the test. This partnership between WSU's College of Engineering and Education culminated in the first Shocker MINDSTORMS robotics competition in 2001. More than a dozen teams participated. Industry professionals volunteered their time to judge and run the games. Trophies were made out of Legos, and spirit and sportsmanship were encouraged to keep everything educational and fun. I'd like to introduce two of the founders of our Shocker MINDSTORMS. Larry Whitman is an engineering professor and also the Associate Dean of the College of Engineering at Wichita State. Karen Reynolds is the Director of Recruiting and Retention in the College of Engineering. Larry and Karen, thank you for taking time with us today. Every year, the MINDSTORMS Challenge is built around a theme. And this year's theme is the WooShock, an unexpected journey. Let's meet the artist. First, Larry, can you tell me something about how the theme is connected to the games that the students built this year?
So, and historically, what we used to do is we had a small group of people, basically students and the committee, that would make the decision on what the theme was each year. Now, to generate more excitement, we're having it a competition itself. So after today, we open up a web page where anyone in the community can submit a theme, a potential theme.
That is awesome. Let's go to this year's winning artist and hear how she put together the theme.
At the end of each competition, we announce that there's a little mini competition basically for bragging rights of anyone who wants to submit an idea for the theme for the next year can submit it, and then it comes to the steering committee to vote on which one they want. So that's how we come up from the themes, or with the themes from year to year. So it just happened that this year we knew that the Hobbit movie was coming up. Someone said, hey, you know, this is coming up. So that's how we ended up with WooShock, the unexpected journey. We all just sat down and said, hey, these are some of the main elements of the book, of the movie. We obviously want to include WooShock in there, and it went through all sorts of transformations of wanting the Hobbit hole featured with WooShock coming out of it like it's New Day. It was a big brainstorming with the steering committee, and we kind of had a couple different ideas to work with, maybe incorporate Smog the dragon into the feature, incorporating the ring, just sort of everything was thrown out on the table. And the ring surfaced originally. I wanted to do something to kind of pay a tribute to me doing the art, kind of put my little signature on it. So that's how my name ended up on the ring. And then Eric had suggested maybe putting another influential person as far as engineering goes on the other side of the ring in the Elvish script. So I ended up with Velma Lunt Wallace as being the name. She's on the outside of the ring here, and she was a big influence in my college education.
There are 6 professional challenges that follow this year's theme and have their own story. And each mission was designed by a group of engineering students. We've got Bringing Back WooShock by the WSU Engineering Council, Dwarven CNC Machine by Beta Theta Pi, The Journey of a Lifetime by WSU Shocker Racing, Hobbits Beware, built by the WSU Aerospace Engineering students, An Unexpected Dream by WSU College of Engineering students, and Paths to Precious Treasure by Wallace Scholars. Larry, can you tell me a little bit more about each of these individual professional missions and how they relate to the theme and robotics as you're trying to teach here today?
So it's all about generating excitement, making the kids interested in science, math, and engineering. And so the theme, we try to make the theme something that captures the kids' attention. And of course, what better lately than The Hobbits? The Hobbit movie came out. And so then how can you work that into a Lego course? So all the kids, the engineering students, have to develop some skills in actually programming and building robots, and they learn how to do it, and then they apply that to a story. So this was an easier one in that many people know the story of The Hobbit, spiders, dwarves, Gandalf, wizards, things like that. So can you craft that into a story that also fits into a course like a maze or labyrinth, has some walls, allows them to use some of the skills they've learned in robotics to try to accomplish a goal, scoring points along the way, generating excitement along with it.
I think this year's theme has really been exciting. I think some of the courses look really cool, but I've also seen a lot of hobbits here at the Heskett Center today. We also, in addition to the professional theme games that are themed, with the year's theme, we have 3 apprentice missions, and they don't follow a theme. They're designed specifically around some different engineering concepts. We've got the table runner, the line follower, and rampant. Karen, can you tell me why we don't use a theme around these? Why do we have these 3 apprentice missions every single year and they're exactly the same? Doesn't that get boring? I mean, Larry just told us we needed excitement.
The apprentice missions are the same, primarily to give the beginning coaches and the beginning teams an opportunity to experience some success. So when they start programming robots and building a team, they're really starting from scratch. By providing these a little bit easier courses for them to have success on, then we hope they'll come back the next year as an intermediate or an expert team and compete on the more difficult courses.
Okay, so that gets into a little bit of information about the teams we've got here. We have 31 teams that are actually competing today, but in general, the teams are made up of 4th through 8th grade students. They can be from any school, any neighborhood, community, any kind of group, correct?
The teams that are here this year are from public schools, from home schools, from a neighborhood group that just got together and had a parent as a sponsor, but children wanted to be involved. We have a Girl Scout troop. We have some teams that are here for the first time. We have some teams and coaches that have been here for many years. So it's really a combination of experience and different sizes and different groups of parents, teachers, mentors that come together to put these teams, sponsor these teams for this event.
So each team has to have an individual sponsor, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, and do they have to be an engineer?
No, they don't. And in fact, we have many coaches who aren't engineers. We do have some training in the fall. We have some workshops to help these people get started so that they can sponsor a team. But they can be anyone who's just interested in working with kids and providing this opportunity for them.
What if I take that training, but I'm still a little nervous? Do you have some help you can provide, me through the time working with my team?
We have some WSU student mentors that we train to go out and work with the teams on a regular basis as they get ready. And they're all here with their teams today.
Okay. So today we are seeing similar kinds of teams that you see every year. Anything different?
I don't know. I think that they're very similar to previous years. I think that we have quite a few beginner teams this year, but we have quite a few expert teams. We actually have a coach who was here in 2001, and he still brings back a team every year.
Wow. So the apprentice games make it easy for new teams to come, but the professional missions that are designed around a new challenge, a new theme, and a new idea make it exciting for those teams that come back every year and learn new things. Is that pretty much it? Okay. Well, I think that I have seen some really interesting things already. These kids are amazing. I think the Girl Scout troop won 1,000 points on one of their missions within like 20, 30 minutes of the game's opening. Am I right?
Correct.
So it looks like people, and this is their first year, second year?
I think it's their third year.
Third year. Okay. So, so it looks like it's fun for all, and definitely fun for these really young kids. We are learning about STEM education. And when we come back from our break, we're going to learn more about that. See you soon.
When I was younger, I always looked up at the night sky wondering, what was space like? What would it be like to walk in space? That question was really answered to me in 6th grade when I got to interview Alexei Leonov. He is the first person to walk in space. And one of the things that he said was that he really wished more young people were interested in space. And from that point on, I always had the dream and goal of working at NASA. As learning about NASA, I learned that the best way to be part of the team is to do a work-based learning experience in which you go to college, but then every other semester you would actually go to one of the NASA centers and work full-time. And so then I started looking at what schools had good engineering programs and a good work-based learning program. I looked at universities all across the nation and found myself really interested in Wichita State. So I did 5 different semesters, alternating between going to school full-time and working down here at Johnson Space Center full-time. After the last tour, I was on my way actually back to school. I was driving up I-35 to Wichita, and I got a call and pulled over the side of the road, and it was NASA calling me and offering me a job. And I was, of course, ecstatic. I mean, this was a dream come true, and it was really exciting to tell my parents, tell my friends when I arrived back in Kansas. I am a spacewalking instructor and flight controller.
Alex, could you tell me where I need to go?
Copy, you're going to hold the QD end. I could totally see myself doing what I'm doing today, 20 years from now. NASA is such a great organization to work for, and we're in it because we think that human space exploration is such an important and exciting endeavor. I love my job.
Welcome back to the Shocker Mindstorms Challenge here at Wichita State University. We have heard all about the games and the coaches and the teams, but what we're really here about is to further STEM education. So science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And I'd like you to hear straight from some of our teachers and coaches how they utilize these robots in their classes to really teach kids these lessons.
Robotics is really the ultimate middle school engineering competition.
The thing that this kind of event does is it gives us an opportunity to learn and teach and experience what's going to be our future group of engineers. I was also a WSU alum in engineering. My background's industrial engineering. So it's a great way to be able to come back and help out. I really enjoy that it's with a younger set of kids because they really get a chance when they're still in elementary school and middle school to sort of get that desire that you can be working hard and problem solving and still have a lot of fun with it.
It's more than just a competition to see who can build the best robot. It's a huge undertaking in a very short amount of time.
It's a good way to give them an opportunity to get a taste of engineering and problem solving and see where their strengths are and what they like.
They have to work as a team, they have to persist. They have hours of testing and documentation, test their visual, spatial, building and mathematical programming. They have to develop artistic displays, they have to give an oral presentation, so it hits on every part of the perfect skill set for the future engineer.
But you also have people that you're working with. The teamwork is very, very important, the communication skills when they're doing the presentations. That's critical in making sure you have a good message and that it's well understood. And it's getting kids to understand engineering is more about than just studying the math and science. It's actually applying it and getting people to understand what you're doing and being able to explain it. And that engineering can be fun.
The apprentice level games challenges that are the same every year here at the Mindstorms Challenge are specifically built around some of the core STEM concepts that are really necessary to learn in order to build and program robots with the LEGO Mindstorms kit. So there are 3 main courses that are part of the Apprentice level challenges that beginning students always work on. Let's go look at what the line follower is like.
Thanks, Tanya. I'm here with Eric Mead from Hawker Beechcraft. And so, Eric, tell me about line follower.
Well, line follower is a course where the students build a robot using a light sensor to follow a line, and it follows it throughout the course of different angle turns, from 90-degree turns, 45-degree turns, and also follows up a ramp and down a ramp of different degrees and continues to follow the line. This way the design of the robot, both in its size, its height, and its length, can determine how well they can complete this course, and they have a certain period of time, 90 seconds, 60 seconds, to gain additional points for achieving certain milestones throughout the course.
Okay. And how challenging would you say that this course is?
For the beginner, for the student that is just starting out with Mindstorms and the programming that is involved in Mindstorms, it can be difficult, but it is relatively straightforward because all you're utilizing is the programming for the light sensor or the color sensor.
So I noticed that there are both yellow and white lines. Give me the reason behind that.
Well, partly is with the advent of the color sensor. It's got not just a light sensor, but now the new kits, the Mindstorm kits, have a color sensor as well. We thought that would add a different element of programming in there for the students to actually determine light and dark, the relationship between light white or light yellow versus dark black as far as the roadway, and that would add a different element of programming that may add a little bit of a difficulty that seems to work with the students. Most of the students have absolutely no problem switching from the white to the yellow tape line, but we thought it was a different element that would add some programming aspect to it, and the kids seem to enjoy that as well.
So what is your favorite thing about this line follower?
Watching the students and what they do and how they go about doing it, because I've watched college students that have built robots. I have robotic kits where I've built a robot to follow this line follower. That's an educational thing, and I've learned that. But watching that education hit home with these students, you see their eyes light up. You see the team harmonics and how they cheer for each other and the excitement that they have, that not only have they gained an education, but they've been successful at it. That, to me, is what it's all about. It's making science, engineering, technology, mathematics, it's making that fun for these students, and these students get it. They understand it. And to me, that's the exciting part of it, is when I see that these kids, they get it.
Industry is really calling for, more technology savvy students coming out of all levels of college and education so that they can hire them. And of course, teachers are trying their hardest to really integrate STEM into their classrooms. So let's listen to what some teachers think about using this LEGO Mindstorms robotics in their classrooms.
When I was getting my teaching degree, which wasn't as long ago as some, Tanya Witherspoon had come to our classes for the PDS program at Wichita State, and she did a tech class, and she worked with us. We worked with robotics, we worked with several other pieces of technology, and I just fell in love with it because I love science, I love math. And in public schools now, we just don't have as much time for science as we'd like. We're a literacy district, and so we focus more on reading, and we don't get enough science. So this was a perfect way for me to work with the students on science and math and technology. One of the big things the kids are learning this year is teamwork. Learning how to work together, listen to each other, share their ideas, let everybody have a say. We use the problem-solving system of identify the problem, brainstorm ideas, make decisions, and then they work into a flow charting program, building their bot, programming the robot, and then they actually get to start on the courses. Programs like Mindstorm really gives the students a chance to do that science and technology that we just don't have the option to do in a district, in a public district. It's very expensive, and fortunately our school has been able to purchase equipment and get this started, but during the school day there's not really enough time to pursue this kind of learning. They don't get this opportunity any other way.
Each one of these teams is led by a unique individual adult coach, and we couldn't get anywhere without these coaches. And I've got two coaches with me today. I've got Allison Wright, who is the coach of the Robo Troops, and Bob Lavelle, who is coaching the Robo Saints, right?
Correct.
Okay. So Allison, tell me a little bit about your team.
We are Robo Troop from the Girl Scouts of Kansas Heartland. We are a special interest group out of the council, so we cross age categories within a traditional Girl Scout troop to fit this competition. And we meet all year round and learn about robots and then do this competition from January to March.
So are you earning a Girl Scout badge with this competition? Is this activity helping you for badges?
Not any specific badges. We work on badges throughout the year as the girls want to. Many of our girls are in traditional troops and participate in Robo Troop also. Some are registered just through Robo Troop.
Okay. And so do you have a daughter on your Robo Troop team?
No, I don't have any kids.
No kids. So you're just volunteering your time to help the cause.
Yes.
Okay, that is great.
Yeah.
So Bob, let me ask you about your team, Robo Saints.
We're the Robo Saints. We've been doing this now since the beginning of the program back in 2000. We take kids from all the grades from St. Joe's Parish, St. Jude's Parish, and we even have some students from the public school system. It's just a club that we meet on the weekends on Saturday, usually starting after Thanksgiving and going until the competition. And the kids just love it. I just wish I had their energy.
So what's been the funnest thing that's happened to you today here as being a coach of the Robo Saints?
Oh, I think today, without a doubt, it's always working with the younger kids, the fourth graders. Their logic usually, and it's a tough program for them. Since I have, like Allison, we have from fourth to eighth graders, we're forced to put them into, the fourth graders that is, into something that's a little bit beyond what they can understand as far as computer logic. But they do their best trying, and if the biggest thing I think they get out of this is understanding what happens when they don't take notes and keep good records, and then all of a sudden they're back at the first stage, but we don't know what happened.
So Allison, I think I heard the Robo Troops had a great win within maybe the first 15 minutes of being on the challenge floor.
We did. We scored 1,000 points on Hobbits Beware within the first hour of being here, and now we are 115 points away from a perfect 3,000 score.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So how do you beat that? What are you going to do next year?
I don't know. Let's get through this year first.
Okay, great. Thank you guys so much for sharing a little bit about what it's like being a coach, but also for coaching these teams. We really, really, really appreciate it.
Thank you.
So the Apprentice games are very, very important to the beginning teams, as I said, and the Table Runner is another one of our Apprentice level games, and I'd like you to see more of that Table Runner game now.
Thanks, Tanya. We're here with Eric again. This time we're at Table Runner. And tell me more about Table Runner. I hear it's with robots and it has sensors and they have to touch some of the sides of the table. A little bit more?
Yes, Table Runner happens to be one of my favorite courses. Okay. Table Runner's the first course that I started out when I was judging. It started out with the Table Runner. And what they have to do is they have to touch all four sides of the table. They have to touch each side twice, and they can't do that consecutively. So they have to touch one side and then a different side before they can come back. And they have to use a touch sensor to change the travel of the robot into a different direction in order for that to count. So they're using a touch sensor to sense where they are on that table, and the robot moves based on that touch.
What's the duration of a Table Runner? Do they have to have it done in a certain time frame?
Every course that we've got, the professional courses as well as the apprentice courses, have a 5-minute time limit. So there's only a 5-minute time limit to achieve the goals of whatever the course is. but some of the courses, like Table Runner, get bonus points for achieving those goals within a shorter time frame. Within the Table Runner, it is 90 seconds. So if they achieve touching all 4 sides twice within 90 seconds, they get bonus points for achieving those. But if they don't, they can still get upwards of 800 points if they complete the course in 4.5 minutes, 5 minutes. But it's a 5-minute time limit, but they get bonus points for less time.
Thank you so much, Eric. And back to you, Tanya.
I've got Andrea Holsworth here with me today. She is WSU's College of Engineering Outreach Recruitment Coordinator. Andrea, tell me a little bit more about your job. What do you do in the College of Engineering to recruit students?
My job is to primarily work with high school students and middle school students, as well as transfer students, to really get them interested in engineering at Wichita State, and to show them what Wichita State can offer them.
So you are heavily involved in the Shocker MINDSTORMS competition, right?
Yes, I am. I'm actually on the planning committee for it.
So how long does it take you to plan this event alone?
This event actually starts planning right about now for next year, actually. We start getting together the theme, the dates, reserving everything. So it starts about a year in advance.
Wow, that's a lot of work. But I think this really proves really as a positive experience, because I have met some College of Engineering students that were 4th grade students at Lego MINDSTORMS here many years ago. Is that right?
Yes. A lot of these students, our goal is to, one, let them have fun, and also associate engineering as fun, get them excited about engineering, math, and science, as well as have them have positive experiences with Wichita State, a positive memory of Wichita State.
So, well, I'm really glad that you put this on, because I think it is great. Do you think all the students want to be engineers that come here?
No, not every student wants to be an engineer, but this really does show them a side of engineering, a fun side of engineering. Shows them the math and science side of it. And even if they do not become engineers, it just still gives them a positive experience of Wichita State.
So they appreciate engineers more and the technology around them. Okay. Well, what other kinds of activities do you put on besides the Lego MINDSTORMS competition?
For our middle school students and some high school students, we also host engineering summer camps. With these summer camps, we host about 6 or 7 a year. We have a Lego MINDSTORMS, if you will, summer camp. We have a girls' summer camp, a gateway summer camp, as well as we have a high school summer camp for video game programming, game design.
Sounds like you've got a really, really full plate on your
yes, we do.
Activities and all. So we have heard a lot about the Lego MINDSTORMS, Shocker MINDSTORMS robotics competition today. I want you to remember that you can go online to wichita.edu/MINDSTORMS and see more about all of these events. This is actually the communication vehicle for all of for the College of Engineering to put out all of the challenges and where all the students get their information. So while we go back to break, you might want to check that site out, and also follow us on Twitter with hashtag MINDSTORMS13.
I went to college and decided I wanted to be a biology major. I hated it, and one day decided, why am I not doing what it is that I really enjoy and love? So transferred to Wichita State University and started making things happen. No sooner than I got there was I shepherded into a fantastic program that helped me to do what I needed to do. While at Wichita State, I had the opportunity to train like a professional in professional environments.
Julius was a stellar performer at WSU. He played the leading player in Pippin, which really showed off his acting skills and his singing and his dancing skills. And so Julius ended up being hired for our professional company. We watched him just get better and better with everything he did.
There's only so much that you can learn in a classroom before you have to step out and start to do practical application. And Music Theater Wichita was the place where I got my professional training.
We got to watch him grow, and we got to see him in his shows in town, and then on our stage. So it's a real privilege. It's great to watch what's happening for Julius, and he deserves every bit of it.
Just being in the vicinity of Wichita with all of those fantastic theaters was a huge help and a huge head start for me and my fellow classmates. Without that, I don't think I'd be where I am right now. What I really wanted to do was to make a living doing what it was that I loved. And here I am, I get to sing, dance, act, and play for a living, and at the end of all that, people applaud for it. I'm living my dream.
Welcome back to the Shocker MINDSTORMS 2013 robotics competition. We're here live at Wichita State University's Heskett Center. And we've heard a lot about the theme and the coaches and the students and the robots. And they are right at it today, building and programming their robots. They have the challenge boards ahead of time for 6 weeks before they get here to really look at the solutions they need, build the robots, and program them. But they are working on them as we speak today. The kids will literally be able to come up with a new idea and reprogram the robot or rebuild it right on the fly today. And they do that all in the pit area, all around the track. We've got tables and they're working. So let's go to the pit area and see what the kids are doing right now.
I'm here with Allison Wright. Allison, can you tell me what goes on in the pit area?
The pit area is where the teams come back and work on their robots, make tweaks that are needed after doing their trial runs before they go for their scored runs. So we've got girls back right now who are working on changing some turns because it turned a little bit too far after they grabbed the ring. We've got girls working on the CNC course. We've got a little ways to go on that one still. So,
have you had to reprogram any of your robots since trial day?
No, we haven't had to reprogram them completely. We've made changes to the programs that we already had, and we did a lot of programming in blocks, and we've put them together for Challenge Day. So.
And I noticed your name is Robot Troop. Can you explain how you came up with that?
We are a special interest group from the Girl Scouts of Kansas Heartland, and we're called Robo Troop there. We work with robots all year round and do this in the springtime or winter.
All right, thank you very much. Back to you, Tanya.
Let's take a look at another one of the Apprentice games. This one is called Rampant, and it is one of the most popular ones of the kids. It's a big, big, tall ramp, and the kids really learn about torque, gearing, and also making sure that they build their robot so it's not top heavy and it doesn't fall off and pitch over as it goes over the ramp. Let's go to the Rampant challenge right now and take a look at how the kids are doing there.
We're here with Rampant, so tell me a little bit about it, Eric.
Well, the Rampant course was originally designed to produce some thought process into the gearing, the motors, the ratio of gears to wheels, motor, torque, to get a robot up an inclined ramp from point A to point B. So that was the original concept of the Rampant course. It has evolved over the years to the current course that has pegs both on the outside and the inside, that the robot, in addition to climbing that ramp, has to weave around those pegs in order to score maximum points. In addition to that, once they get to the top of the ramp, they have to successfully turn around and go back down the ramp as well.
So how challenging is this Rampant, just going up the ramp for robots?
This particular course, for an apprentice level course, is relatively challenging, primarily because to get maximum points, you have to weave in a figure-8 pattern around the center pegs. There are multiple ways of doing that, from programming, from motor speed. They can also do it with sensors, whether it be touch sensor, and we had one set of students that tried with an ultrasonic sensor, not yet successful, but there are multiple ways to get around those pegs, but it is relatively challenging because they have to do that while on an inclined plane.
How tall is this ramp?
When this course was first built, we built 2 different platform levels, one at 2 feet tall, one at 3 feet tall. The ramp itself is 8 feet long. We felt like that would give different challenges to the students to travel up a 2-foot tall path versus traveling up a ramp that was positioned at 3 foot. We found that the 2-foot path was relatively easy for the students to achieve and was not sufficiently challenged. So we do not use the 2-foot platform, we use strictly the 3-foot platform, which provides a much greater incline for the robots to travel up. So we find that it is much more challenging and the students like it so much better.
And do you think that maybe in next year or in the years in the future, do you think the ramp will even raise higher, or do you think this is as high as it will get?
We have discussed different options for all of the apprentice level courses. One, to keep them challenging, to keep all of the courses vibrant and interesting for the students. The rampant course, for example, we have specifically talked about different options for the ramp. I don't believe that adding additional height for the ramp adds additional challenge. So we're looking at ways to add additional challenge to the students without necessarily just making it higher, longer, taller, farther. You know, we want to add challenges that cause the students to add additional programming, add additional construction of the robot, add additional gearing ratio problems that they have to confront. So making it higher is not the direction that we'll be going if we make a change to the rampant, but it will be additionally challenging, and that's what we'd be looking for.
3 weeks ago, we were here at Wichita State's Heskett Center for Trial Day. This is kind of like a dress rehearsal for the challenge of the day. Let's go to some video we shot from Trial Day 3 weeks ago and see what the kids were doing then.
Tanya, we're here at LEGO Mindstorms Trial Day, and as you can see behind me, the court is empty right now, but we're anticipating hundreds of students.
What happens when it goes back?
We are the Hobots from McAuliffe Academy, and we have our first year of our school, and it's our first year to have a team come to the competition. Well, the most important thing about Trial Day is just seeing the real courses for the very first time. We've seen the drawings and we've seen the photographs, and we've tried to practice with little mock-ups of paper and cardboard and whatever at school.
It's been pretty fun because we get to try the actual courses for Challenge Day, but it's also been kind of hard because our robot sometimes runs inconsistently.
Well, I'm here as a parent, and I'm here with our team, the Billbot Baggins of the Andover Shire, and we're here to just run our bots for the day and see how things go. We ran through our first trial and things went really, really well.
It teaches them a lot about the scientific process, teaches them some programming, problem-solving skills. You know, the notebook is great for being able to communicate what they're doing. We're kind of excited about doing presentations this year for some public speaking, but really there's a lot of teamwork, a lot of frustration with when their bot works great in practice and doesn't work great here, and trying to figure out how to make changes and adapt to make it work.
Well, we had some successful and non-successful. The non-successful was that we kept going off the course and not doing the right turns or doing more rotations than we had to.
I built the robot. I also had to add attachments to it, like this touch sensor thing right here, that when it touches like a wall, then it'll continue with the program. And then this, that's on a motor. Like this was for knocking down the trolls.
What I like about LEGO Mindstorms is that I get to work with other people. I get to work with robots and I get to work with Legos. I love building and programming too.
This is just a wonderful opportunity that gives them such a life learning skill that they can take forever.
As you can see, Tanya, today was Trial Day, and some kids were successful and some were not. Back to you.
So we cannot pull off this challenge without a lot of help from industry. And the main industry support that we've had over all the years has been from Spirit. And I've got a program manager from Spirit here with me today, Nate Heinrich. Nate, thanks for taking some time to talk with me today. What I wanted to ask you is, why does Spirit continue to give us money every year, and why do they think this is so valuable?
Okay, well, first of all, I didn't know I was going to be on TV today, so sorry about the beard. I mean, we do a lot of mechanical things with physical objects, and we have to have, our products are so well engineered, and they have to be just great products that we need smart people and this is just the grassroots development of those smart people.
Great. So Lego Mindstorms really focuses on, STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. And we're hoping, to make some great engineers for Spirit. So that's, I hope, why Spirit keeps funding this great event. And I'm glad that you came here to talk to us about it. You're also a judge today too, right?
That's right.
Yeah. So what course are you judging?
Bringing Wooshock home, I think.
Okay. How's that been going?
Pretty good. I mean, I thought the course was going to be pretty tough, but those kids are knocking it out. So
that's really good. So how many people are from Spirit here today, do you think, volunteering at different roles?
I would say maybe 10 to 15. I don't have the exact number. I'll get that after the event. But
okay. Well, we sure appreciate Spirit's support and everything that you do for this, because we could not put this on without Spirit's support and industry help and volunteers. We have a lot of different industry people that volunteer and help us, and I'd like to just share a little bit more about the other support that we get from our city.
I work at Airbus Americas.
I work for NetUp Incorporated.
And I'm a volunteer judge from Spirit Aerosystems. Well, you and I are both aware of the graying of the generations. Spirit, I believe, has an average age that's over 50. That means within the next 10 years, we're probably going to see a great amount of change in who's going to be available to do the work.
Airbus actually really benefits by being able to touch and impact and influence what could be our future engineers.
It's important from the standpoint that we all use technology in the industry. One person asked one time, are we still doing the same thing we were 3 years ago? And no, we're not using the same software, we're not doing the same problem solving.
We get surprised about every third competitor comes up with something new or different, a different way to accomplish it.
Lego's Mindstorm gets young people started early, learning problem solving techniques that they can use throughout their career.
This competition and this challenge day actually can create something in the future that if they're interested and they're enjoying today, they're probably going to enjoy a career in engineering as well.
They're trying to get the foreground of getting things on how they approach problems, how do they solve problems, and not necessarily the traditional way. Thinking outside the box and getting them developing for later, getting that mind going to excel in the engineering department.
Be able to provide a perspective on why engineering is important and why it's exciting, why we're excited to be engineers. So it's dual benefit, both to Airbus being able to give back to the community, but also to invest in our future.
We need replacements. We always need to be bringing in bright, young, fresh minds, individuals, so that they can be the future for us.
The industry support that we get for the Lego Mindstorms robotics competition is phenomenal, but it's really, really important to us. We not only get industry to support by sponsoring this event, which is, a great help, but we also have industry support for judges to help the College of Engineering students build the courses. And also, to mentor students as they're working on these courses. It's just really incredible. We've got student professional organizations in our engineering college, and then we've got industry professionals from all of these organizations that show up too. So this is a wonderful thing that we have. We're going to take another short break here before we come back, and we're going to talk about an event that's really, really fun. It's called the Lego Mock. Remember that you can go to wichita.edu/mindstorms to read more about the Shocker Mindstorms robotics competition and join our conversation on Twitter with #Mindstorms13.
When the alarm clock goes off at 3:45 in the morning, it's not always easy to just jump right out of bed and get up. The thing that allows me to do that on a daily basis is the fact that I get really excited about what I'm about to go do. I really got passionate about health and fitness in the Marine Corps. When I got home, I was looking at the Wichita State website and I came across the exercise science program. The staff there at Wichita State had some really good relationships with the community, so they were able to make a lot of connections for us. With like the cooperative education, I was able to get the wellness coaching position, and I was working with like 1,500 people on a monthly basis. That's what really got me back to personal training. I'm able to work with people from step one, develop this personal relationship, and see them through every stage. Really, you get to celebrate with the person. I mean, because it's a lot of times I feel like it's as much as my accomplishment as it is theirs. Experience-based learning opportunities at Wichita State are phenomenal. It allows you to take all of these things that you're learning in class and immediately start applying them to real-world situations. I don't think that you can overestimate the importance of on-the-job training. Wichita State's given me a lot of opportunities to be successful. Without that program, I don't know what I'd be doing right now. I have my own health club, and I train people a lot one-on-one, just helping people improve their lives. This is exactly what I've been called to do, and this is really what fits into where I want to be for the rest of my life.
Welcome back to the Shocker MINDSTORMS robotics competition. We've really been focusing on building and programming robots, but part of the design process for engineering is the documentation that has to go on to make sure that you're putting together all of the information and documenting every bit of the design process. You also have to be able to speak about your finished product. And so we've got a couple of different challenges for the students to help them practice this. Let's go to Dr. Malzahn, one of our professors in the College of Engineering at Wichita State University, to learn more about these extra challenges we put before the students, and also to find out how they enjoy it and what they learn from it.
They usually think of this as somewhat secondary because it's not near as much fun as building the bots to run the courses. And we assess then those presentations in terms of the ability for a team to communicate. Then also the ability to define a problem clearly. Both of those are skills that take some development. It takes some discipline. So I think it's probably one of the more difficult things that's part of the MINDSTORMS experience. They are very relieved when they finish their presentation. Whenever they complete a course, they jump up and down and give each other high fives and everything.
How much is it?
And it's more of a whew whenever they complete a presentation. But I think it's all part of the learning how to solve problems together in a team.
Okay.
They put together notebooks that describe their processes. That also then provides them the foundations for making their presentation. They can look back through their old experience and
Talking about at some point.
they can say, you know, this is a point in which we really used our teamwork to come up with a unique and interesting solution. So this is just a part of life. This is the way you get things done. You work as a team. Each of us has different skills, and we learn how to apply those to a very difficult problem that none of us by ourselves could have solved.
In addition to the oral presentation that students are challenged to do, we also have them make a team display and notebook. Let's go to Sarah, where we've got all the team displays and notebooks set up, and she can tell us some more about how the students put those together.
Thanks, Tanya. I'm here at the Team Display Notebooks presentation area, and I'm here with Jerry Carroll. She's a judge. So Jerry, just tell me a little bit about the presentations today.
Well, we have 3 levels of presentations, at least, and I'm primarily doing the intermediate and advanced ones this year. We have probably 6, 8, or 10 of each kind. The teams work on them together, and they have certain criteria they have to meet in each one of those. So it's kind of exciting because the creativity comes in there as well.
By presentation, we mean boards. What can they use to do this?
We have both display boards, posters basically, most of them fairly large display boards. They can create their own materials that are a nice match to the things that they then use their robots for in the competitive piece on the other side of the screen here. And they have notebooks, and each notebook has a certain amount of information that's required, and all of it's tied then back to science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So it's all there.
And tell me a little bit more specifically how this connects to the courses.
As the students are designing their robots, the courses, they download the course description from the internet, then they have to create the course with specifications that the engineering students have to give them. Then they have to design the robots to do this. Well, we encourage them, because this is really an engineering task, that they have to keep data on everything they do. So the notebooks are a compilation of that data. And so every little thing that they do, every time they change the program in the robot just a little bit, everything is documented there. And then the background of any of this fits into the theme of the robots that they've designed, or else their team names as well. They each have their own team name.
And then why is this piece of the Challenge Day so important for students to learn and be able to do?
I'm going to go back to that engineering process. The kids are really, it's kind of like when you're following a recipe to do something. And so they've got to figure out what the recipe is. So they have to figure out exactly what that program is to make their robot do exactly the course that's designed for them. And then all of this really documents everything that they do. And I think the documentation is what's important.
Hey, and thanks, Jerry. And back to you, Tanya.
So this competition is all about robots, but really it's about Lego bricks too. Everyone loves to build with Lego, and since we first started this competition 13 years ago, we would have lots of brothers and sisters and moms and dads and other people that would attend that would say, hey, why can't we just bring up our own creation, my own creation? So we came up with this event called the MOC, or My Own Creation, to let other people, anybody from the community that's visiting, put their own stuff out. Just made out of Lego. So these are mostly traditional stationary kinds of Lego things. This My Own Creation was built by Eric Mead, one of our Lego founders. So let's go to the My Own Creation tables and see what this year's students have brought to us to see.
Thank you, Tanya. I'm here at the My Own Creation with Jessie Marshall. Jessie, what inspired you to make a castle?
Well, it's actually not a castle, it's the England Tower.
The England Tower? Awesome. How many bricks did it take you?
Well, it probably took over a dozen or so.
How long did it take you to make?
Probably more than a week.
What made you put people and dragons and crossbows on there?
For decoration. We actually had them.
Did you have all these bricks at home, or did you have to get more?
We had lots of bricks at home, so we just did it.
Did you have help on this, or did you get a kit, or?
Well, I got a little bit of help by my dad. He helped me figure out the designs of the castle.
How long did it take you to figure out the design?
Probably an hour or so.
How did you hear about Lego Mines?
Well, my brothers went there when I was little, so last year I was winning a competition by a huge pirate ship.
All right, thank you, Jessie. And back to you, Tanya.
So spirit and sportsmanship is a really important part of this event. The competition can get very, very heated, and we want to make sure that all of the kids are treating each other fairly, that they remember why they're here. This is for fun and learning. So we actually have an event called Spirits and Sportsmanship that the students are all judged on. We have roving spirit and sportsmanship judges that are watching the students. So let's go to a team now and see what kind of spirit and sportsmanship we can find in our teams this year.
And that was West Wichita Homeschool Ministries, and I'm here with Erlene Wilhite. She's a coach and parent. So Erlene, just tell me a little bit about how your team experiences sportsmanship.
Well, part of it is just encouraging other team members. Part of it comes with respect. Maybe sometimes you disagree with someone. How do you do that respectfully, as well as cheering on other teams and their accomplishments?
And how would you say that your team has, or your coaches has managed to teach that to your team?
Well, part of it is the coaches showed respect to the students, and so that just came naturally, and we talked about having good attitudes even when things didn't go well, and I felt like the students really worked hard on that, and getting to know each other as well just helps so that they could encourage one another in specific ways.
And then tell me a little bit about what experiences or what activities do you do to promote that spirit and sportsmanship?
Well, several things. One is like all having T-shirts that match. The students got to vote on that and choose what they wanted how they wanted their team represented. And then also we just like made some posters where they all got to be part of working on that together, or getting to know you games, and just encouraging one another throughout the preparing for the competition.
And then as far as points go in this challenge day, how do you tell me a little bit about the point system and with the spirit and sportsmanship?
Okay, spirits and sportsmanship is 1,000 points. That's 1/3 of the overall score. And so it's pretty important. And so we're working as hard on that as we are on the programming and our table presentation.
So spirit and sportsmanship is really important, but another thing that makes everything really fair is our judging. And I've got one of our judges with us here today, Marlon Johnston. Hello. You're an engineer from Beechcraft. All right. So what one of the challenges are you judging today?
Well, I'm judging the Hobbits Beware, which the kids know as the spider competition. They have to run their robots through the spider's legs on the predetermined course and then finish at the red square.
So what's the hardest part of judging?
The hardest part of judging is being encouraging without being leading, because we have to help the kids do their best, but we don't want to do anything that's going to give an unfair advantage. That's their coach's responsibility to lead the children and the students in their solving the problem.
Yeah, so from what I understand, the kids can come up and actually practice on your challenge board multiple times, but in order to be scored by you, they have to actually say first they want to be scored. Is that right?
You've got it exactly right. The kids are able to come up and run through the course as many times as they want as the time allows. The competition runs into the afternoon, so they can continually go back and fine-tune and add speed, which is one component of the scoring, to their solution. So they are able to come back as many times as they want. And even today, we've seen students progress and do better before they come back and make their official run.
Have you seen the opposite happen, where students had a great run and it was for practice, but then they said, okay, score me, and they didn't do so well?
The number of times parents and coaches have said, can we make that one the official run, is innumerable. But yes, even today, students will come up and they'll make a couple of successful runs, and then they'll have an unsuccessful run. We just remind them that life's that way sometimes, and they go back, and that's the end of it.
So how long have you been judging?
This is my first year.
Your first year. Okay, well, thank you so much for judging, and also thank you for sharing with me and with our viewers about what it's like to be a judge. Really appreciate it. So we have seen a lot more about what it takes to come to the Shocker MINDSTORMS competition. And we're going to go to a break now, and when we come back, we're going to focus on the professional missions and challenges.
I went to college and decided I wanted to be a biology major. I hated it, and one day decided, why am I not doing what it is that I really enjoy and love? So transferred to Wichita State University and started making things happen. No sooner than I got there was I shepherded into a fantastic program that helped me to do what I needed to do. While at Wichita State, I had the opportunity to train like a professional in professional environments.
Julius was a stellar performer at WSU. He played the leading player in Pippin, which really showed off his acting skills and his singing and his dancing skills. And so Julius ended up being hired for our professional company. We watched him just get better and better with everything he did.
There's only so much that you can learn in a classroom before you have to step out and start to do practical application. And Music Theater Wichita was the place where I got my professional training.
We got to watch him grow, and we got to see him in his shows in town, and then
on our stage. So it's a real privilege. It's great to watch what's happening for Julius, and he deserves every bit of it.
Just being in the vicinity of Wichita with all of those fantastic theaters was a huge help and a huge head start for me and my fellow classmates. Without that, I don't think I'd be where I am right now. What I really wanted to do was to make a living doing what it was that I loved. And here I am, I get to sing, dance, act, and play for a living, and at the end of all that, people applaud for it. I'm living my dream.
Welcome back to the Shocker MINDSTORMS robotics competition. Boy, we're having fun today. But we could not have all this fun if it weren't for the College of Engineering students that actually work all fall the semester before to build the courses. So let's hear a little bit about what it takes to build these courses and about the actual class at Wichita State that they take to learn about it.
As a course builder, the design process was a lot about knowing some of what the robots can do. How do we stay within the realm of possibility but still make it challenging and still really challenge the kids to overcome some of the obstacles, and how do we maybe change up some of the problems that they'll encounter than what they're used to.
The course I took this fall is called Service Learning, and it's about making a course for this robotics competition. And you have to come up with obstacles and different ways for the kids to do these things.
Our course actually was a little bit easier than I thought it was going to be. A lot of kids were really successful. We thought that some of the aspects, like we had this really steep ramp that we thought would be really challenging, but the things that these kids come up with like even surprised me, and they were able to do it a lot easier than I thought. So it was good to see the success. So.
The professors for our course gave us the theme, and we had to go along with that, and everything else came from us. We had to come up with the obstacles, how they were going to be implemented into it, and what kind of points they were going to get as they went through the course.
I think the experience of having designed the course and having to explain the course in written form in a way that a large audience can understand, I think it'll be very beneficial in an engineering career.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to put this experience on my resume, and I'm excited to tell employers about how I didn't just read about what to do, that I actually went through it and had real hands-on experience with it. So.
Sarah is on the challenge for right now with some of the students running the professional missions. Sarah, show us what you're looking at.
Thanks, Tanya. We're here with the Girl Scouts Robo team, and they're at the Hobbits Beware Challenge. And so Emily, she's going to place her robot on the challenge, and then she'll start. Okay.
Sarah, ask questions.
So let's just talk about your fastest time. Just tell me a little bit about your time.
I think it was 34 seconds, I believe, but I'm not quite sure since we never truly timed the last part of it.
And how long do you have to do it?
1 minute.
And tell me about that. Were you surprised that it took only 34 seconds?
Not really. After we replaced the batteries in the robot, it started going crazy, so you never know.
And how do you think the judges will take this, or how do you think you did with this?
Did just fine, pretty much.
And points-wise, how many points did you receive for going that fast?
All 1,000.
Okay. So this challenge has just been great for you.
It was our first one done. We were done first with it, so it was good.
Within the first 20 minutes of the day, we got done with it. So.
Okay. Well, thank you, Emily. Thank you, Allison. And back to you, Tanya.
So at the Lego Mindstorms competition, of course, the awards that are given at the end of the day are made out of Lego. I've got a couple of the trophies here today that we're going to give. And I've also got our trophy builder, Jeremy Marshall, who's a Kansas Best and Mindstorms alum, along with a Shocker engineer. You're currently taking classes in Wichita State's engineering program, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you built these trophies.
Yes, me and my brother both built them together.
You built them. Okay, so obviously they were inspired by the theme this year.
Yes.
Okay, so tell me what your thought process was. How did you build, this one, and what were you thinking about?
Well, our thought process was different this year. Usually we just try making a trophy that has like a lava lamp or has a moving part or something. This year we thought because it was Hobbit themed and there was Lego Hobbit theme available, we could really go into the theme. So we made the One Ring, which is the big ring in the Lord of the Rings, as the first place for the expert category, which is the big one. And then the intermediate category, we have the Sword Sting, which is also from the Lord of the Rings. So we did theme them off of Lord of the Rings this year, which was real fun.
These are really nice. I've seen that the kids have been oogling them all day long, right? Do you and your brother have copies of these trophies at home that are yours and you're going to keep?
No, we actually don't. We enjoy making them and we enjoy giving them out to people. So when we make something, we make it for other people. We make it cool so that they will have something they'll always enjoy. We don't really need a trophy ourselves.
That is very, very nice of you. How many Lego bricks does it take to build these trophies?
Well, I can tell you we ordered probably about 2,000 to 3,000 pieces this year. We didn't use every single one, but I'd say average of 2,000 pieces a year or so.
Well, I know that the kids are very, very excited when they win these. And I've been at schools and looked at their trophy cases where all of the trophies for all the sporting events are. And I've seen these Lego trophies from years past. So I know that they keep them, very, very high on their list. Also, every student gets a Lego Mindstorms name badge like I'm wearing and you're wearing. And so everybody gets their own little piece of a Lego brick, I guess,
Yes.
these trophies. So how many trophies did you have to build?
This year there are three main trophies for first place, and we made 2 second place trophies. And then then Lego Robotics buys trophies for the other awards like Spirit and Sportsmanship and 3rd place and 4th place of the division. So
And these are just one trophy goes to a team,
yes.
right? Okay, so
every person on a team will get a brick saying that you won first place in this category, which goes on your name badge, which gets you
goes on
every
your
year.
name badge. Okay, so everybody gets a little piece of a brick, but the trophy itself is
Yes.
a shared thing. Okay, so let me ask you the big question: do you glue these together?
No, we do not. I guess you could say I'm a Lego purist. I don't like gluing my Lego. Although there's been occasions where you'd have to glue them. For example, they are glued to the bases. We may have wooden bases on these, and we had to glue them to those. But we don't usually glue the trophies, no.
Okay. Well, Jeremy, thank you very much for sharing all of this great information about the trophies today.
You're welcome.
I really appreciate it. Hey, so now we are going to go back to the pit area and see what some of our students are doing right now. Jessica?
Thank you, Tanya. I'm here with the team at One Brick. And Levi, can you tell me a little bit about your robot?
This robot is supposed to move on a track to where it knocks off all the gray and white balls, and we haven't knocked over all of them yet.
How long does it take you to build the robot and practice?
It takes a while to build a robot, like this one, but we've built this robot over and over again, and none of them have. Oh, this one is the only one that succeeded.
How is today's robot compared to trial day? Has it been easier, or has you had any more complications?
It's we haven't knocked over. This time we've knocked over more balls than trial day.
That's good. Do you think you'll do good when it comes to the final course?
Probably not. We haven't really been doing good, but we'll try as best we can.
Well, wish you luck and good luck. Thank you. And back to you, Tanya.
We're going to take another break here from the Shocker MINDSTORMS robotics competition. Remember to go online to wichita.edu/mindstorms to see more details about this event and join our conversation on Twitter at #Mindstorms13.
Okay, so everybody, I will be your teacher this year. I'm Miss Mitchell. Can everybody say Miss Mitchell? Before becoming a teacher, I wanted to be a social worker. I came to this school and they had me tutor this little boy. And I could see the growth in him, and I was like, oh my gosh, I really like this. And now that I'm a teacher, I feel fulfilled. Later on, we're gonna tell everybody something about us, including our favorite color, okay? Carlos, your hand raised? Green. Your favorite color is green too? That's great. Can you go get the trains and bring them over here for us? Katrell, what would you like to do? We can do blocks? Go ahead and go do blocks. At Wichita State, I was a part of a program which allowed us to do work-based learning, and it helped me become the teacher I am today. You cannot learn that from a book. You cannot learn that from student teaching for a couple of months. The best experience for me to be a teacher is actually getting in there and doing it.
Oh, left side.
Okay, I'm gonna read your story, so look at me, okay? A mother held her new baby and very slowly rocked him back and forth.
I'm Kathy Stiver. I'm the principal at College Hill Elementary School in Wichita, Kansas. Dana applied for a cooperative education position, which was on-site learning based on experiences within a classroom setting and within a school setting. Dana applied and we scooped her right up because she has all the qualities of a great teacher and a great deal of potential.
And I read this book to you guys because I will always love you forever and ever. No matter how old you are, no matter where you are, I will always love you. I feel happy. I love coming to work. It's like, this is what I was born to do. I love to teach. I love to see these kids grow and learn, and I love to love them. So I feel good about myself that not only am I doing something that I love, I'm impacting the future.
Welcome back to the 2013 Shocker MINDSTORMS robotics competition. Boy, we've seen some great stuff. I'd like to get back on that challenge floor and look at some of the professional missions. Sarah, let's see what you're looking at.
Thanks, Tanya. I'm here with Corey, and he's on the Hotbots team. So tell me about your robot. How did it just do?
Okay. We meant for it to get to the ramp, but it didn't follow the line correctly.
Okay, and how do you plan on changing? Are you going to change anything, go back and change something, or are you just going to keep it the same and try it again?
Maybe change the light values.
And with the light values, how will that help changing?
So it will stay on the line so I can get to the ramp.
And then how do you think you're going to do as far as time after you change it? You think you'll be able to complete it?
Yes.
And thank you, and we'll go back to you, Tanya.
Programming, design, and the engineering process is really what we're focusing here at Shocker MINDSTORMS. And we've got some great coaches and great teachers that can tell us a little bit more about this. Larry Whitman, professor in our engineering college, has some great things to say about the engineering design process.
So the unique thing about Shocker MINDSTORMS is that we're really a triad. A lot of people focus on the kids. We care very much about the kids, getting them involved in science, technology, engineering, and math or STEM. But we also care about getting industry professionals here. The industry professionals are the judges, they interact with the kids. But we also are unique in that we involve our College of Engineering students and College of Education people as well. The College of Engineering students, they work hard to design and build a course. When you think of an engineer, the true definition of engineering is they design things. Well, they want to design things that also can be built and can be used properly. And so really what we want is we want kids to be able to run a course. So we require our engineering students to actually run Lego robots on actual previous year's courses and see how they do, because to design it, you've got to know it. And so really for many engineers, the problem is they're able to design something really cool that can't be built or can't be used properly. Now what we want is we want our engineers to be good at designing things that actually matter. Each course has different industry people as judges. Sometimes, frequently, the engineers and the students get to know each other. There have actually been, true story, there have actually been students get jobs, both internships as well as permanent jobs by that connection. Again, if you see a student that's able to actually design something well, design something that's reproducible, can explain it to where a kid can understand it, has some interpersonal skills, that's the cream of the crop engineer you want. That's the people that are in high demand. So one day I was going to a presentation when I was just a new engineering faculty here, and this lady, Tanya Witherspoon, comes in and tells everyone, this is really exciting. You ought to see this course. You ought to see how Lego robots actually excite kids, and you can teach science and engineering and math with it. My own kids got excited about it. It's a good time for me to play with my own kids in building Lego robots. What could be more fun than that?
We're down to the last hour and a half here of the Shocker Mindstorms Challenge today, and the students are frantically putting together the last changes that they can make in their programs and their robots. Let's go back to the pit area and see what Jessica can show us about what the students are doing now.
All right. Hi, Tanya. I'm here with the Crusader robots. Can you tell me anything about your robot?
Well, we're programming it to run the course and trying to make a ball cast for it.
Have you had any fun today compared to trial day, or any complications that you need to fix?
Well, we're trying to get the trolls knocked down on bringing back Shock, so.
Have you had, have you had success doing that?
Yeah, kind of.
And Blake, I've noticed your name tag. Did you make that yourself?
Yes.
How long did it take you to make that? It's really inventive and awesome.
About 5 to 6 minutes.
5 to 6 minutes? That's crazy. All right. Well, I would like to wish you guys good luck, and back to you, Tanya.
WSU engineering students provide a lot of support and mentors to all of the teams. They actually take a class where they learn to be a mentor, and this helps them to be better engineers. So let's hear from some of our College of Engineering mentors what they benefit, how this benefits them.
At WSU, I'm currently taking a service learning class through the College of Engineering, which I learn about Mindstorms, and then I go to a school and I help mentor the team that's at that school for Mindstorms. I go to Gammon Elementary School, but we have kids from, I think it's Stuckey, that come and work with us too. I've never actually worked with kids before. It's kind of a new experience, and it's different for engineering students because we never really get to work with kids because our professions are more you make things or you build things that other people use. You don't really get like the customer part of it. So now I'm learning how to work with kids and work in small groups. And I don't build, they build and they program and they do all that. If they have questions though, they ask me, and if I can answer them, I do. And then if I can't answer them, we look in the book. And I'm basically there more as like a guide or a helper, not really telling them what to do, but like helping them figure out what to do. We are graded on papers that we write, which are reflections on trial day, challenge day, and at the end it's kind of like a final paper that we write about our experience with our group and how we worked with them and how they learned from us or what we learned from them. And we have some quizzes. Basically the main struggle is trying to figure out how to explain concepts of engineering like in a much easier way, because the concepts of engineering are not easy to understand, but in order for me to know that I understand them, I have to be able to explain them easily. So working with kids who are in 5th or 6th or 7th grade who don't know these things yet, it's a really eye-opening experience for how little I know.
We're going to take another short break, but don't forget to go to wichita.edu/mindstorms to find more information about the Shocker Mindstorms competition.
When I was younger, I always looked up at the night sky wondering what was space like? What would it be like to walk in space? That question was really answered to me in 6th grade when I got to interview Alexei Leonov. He is the first person to walk in space. And one of the things that he said was that he really wished more young people were interested in space. And from that point on, I always had the dream and goal of working at NASA. As learning about NASA, I learned that the best way to be part of the team is to do a work-based learning experience in which you go to college, but then every other semester you would actually go to one of the NASA centers and work full-time. And so then I started looking at what schools had good engineering programs and a good work-based learning program. I looked at universities all across the nation and found myself really interested in Wichita State. So I did 5 different semesters, alternating between going to school full-time and working down here at Johnson Space Center full-time. After the last tour, I was on my way actually back to school. I was driving up I-35 to Wichita, and I got a call and pulled over the side of the road, and it was NASA calling me and offering me a job. And I was, of course, ecstatic. I mean, this was a dream come true, and it was really exciting to tell my parents, tell my friends when I arrived back in Kansas. I am a spacewalking instructor and flight controller.
Alex, could you tell me where I need to go?
Copy, you're going to hold the QD end. I could totally see myself doing what I'm doing today, 20 years from now. NASA is such a great organization to work for, and we're in it because we think that human space exploration is such an important and exciting endeavor. I love my job.
Welcome back to our live coverage of the 2013 Shocker MINDSTORMS competition. I'd like to go back to the pit area and see what those students are doing in the last hour and a half of this competition. Jessica, let us know what's going on there.
Thanks, Tanya. I'm here with the Knights of Bag Inn, and this is Elisa. Elisa, what have the kids been working on here in the pit today?
They've mainly been working on their programs for the bots. If they see any mistakes with it, or if they just want to tweak something in their program, they have to come back here, upload it to their bot, and then take it back and just do baby steps with their bots.
Have they had to make many tweaks today, or have you just been doing really good?
We've had to make a fair amount of tweaks. They haven't been working as good as we thought they would be, but they're getting there.
Well, good. What else do you think you have to do before the rest of the trials are over today?
Finish the courses. Get more than halfway through. It's okay. I love Gammon. I don't know.
All right. Well, thank you, Elisa. And back to you, Tanya.
Thanks, Jessica. Next, I'd like to talk a little bit about the Service Learning 2020 course that the College of Engineering students actually take at Wichita State University that is part of this entire Shocker MINDSTORMS competition. Let's go to some more information about that.
So we've developed a course at WSU called Service Learning and Engineering. And so service learning is not volunteerism. Service learning is where students learn to serve the community using their engineering skills in a course that actually gives them credit towards their degree.
I first took the service learning course in the fall of 2010. It was just a really good experience going through the entire process. First we had to learn about the robots and what they're capable of doing, and then came the design of the course, and we had to go through every single step, the detailed drawings, the build, just making sure everything fit together, and then to actually see the courses be performed. It was a really good learning experience.
So, of course, as a part of the course, the service learning course in engineering, we're trying to teach students how to be better designers. Part of that is to learn from past courses. And so we show the good, the bad, and the ugly of past courses, and we tell them this worked well, this didn't work well. You know, things I just mentioned about learning about to be very precise even in the type of paint you use.
We had to keep track of everything we'd done every week. Every part that we'd bought, we had to get like a specific part number for the paints so everybody could get the same paints.
The hardest thing really was all the documentation that came with the course and making sure we had the story and the bill of materials and all the paper. Designing and building the course was the easy part, and the fun part too.
Sarah is on the floor with the professional missions. Sarah, let's see what you're seeing there with the students running their robots.
Thanks, Tanya. I'm here with Joseph and Ryan, and they're on the BillBots team, and they're from Collegiate. So just tell me a little bit about your robot. How is it done on this challenge?
Well, first we had it built with wheels, and then for some reason, we really don't know why, the wheels were not letting the line follower. It just wasn't following the line. So we had to switch to treads, which really helped on the ramp. And we have a touch sensor to touch the walls. And sometimes we don't always use the line follower. We don't follow a line. We just use the touch sensor and make a bunch of turns.
And then, so how do you think that's going to help? Like going back and tweaking it, how do you think that will help?
Well, we can make, we're supposed to do each program, if something's wrong, change one thing at a time. So maybe one thing could be wrong and we could change everything and mess it up, even if one thing is wrong, and get it right.
And then how long do you think it'll take for your robot to complete this course?
We really don't know yet.
And let's see. It's on your course. The robot's on the course right now. So let's take a look at that. Okay, and so they just left. So what do you think just happened? Do you think it was successful, or do you think they're going back to tweak it some more?
I think they're going back to tweak it some more.
So hopefully soon you'll be back out here. Okay. Well, great. Thank you for talking to us. And back to you, Tanya.
Thank you, Sarah. We're going to take another short break. But remember to go online at wichita.edu/mindstorms and check out all the information about the Shocker Mindstorms competition. Also, join our conversation on Twitter using hashtag Mindstorms13.
Okay, so everybody, I will be your teacher this year. I'm Miss Mitchell. Can everybody say Miss Mitchell? Before becoming a teacher, I wanted to be a social worker. I came to this school and they had me tutor this little boy. And I could see the growth in him, and I was like, oh my gosh, I really like this. And now that I'm a teacher, I feel fulfilled. Later on, we're gonna tell everybody something about us, including our favorite color, okay? Carlos, your hand raised? Green. Your favorite color is green too? That's great. Can you go get the trains and bring them over here for us? Trey, what would you like to do? We're gonna do blocks? Go ahead and go do blocks. At Wichita State, I was a part of a program which allowed us to do work-based learning, and it helped me become the teacher I am today. You cannot learn that from a book. You cannot learn that from student teaching for a couple of months. The best experience for me to be a teacher is actually getting in there and doing it. Okay, I'm going to read your story, so look at me, okay? A mother held her new baby and very slowly rocked him back and forth.
I'm Kathy Stiver. I'm the principal at College Hill Elementary School in Wichita, Kansas. Dana applied for a cooperative education position, which was on-site learning based on experiences within a classroom setting and within a school setting. Dana applied and we scooped her right up because she has all the qualities of a great teacher and a great deal of potential.
And I read this book to you guys because I will always love you forever and ever. No matter how old you are, no matter where you are, I will always love you. I feel happy. I love coming to work. It's like, this is what I was born to do. I love to teach. I love to see these kids grow and learn, and I love to love them. So I feel good about myself that not only am I doing something that I love, I'm impacting the future.
Welcome back to the 2013 Shocker Mindstorms competition. We've seen a lot of robots, a lot of kids and coaches, but one of the most difficult parts of today is the oral presentation. As we heard earlier from Dr. Malsan, when teams get done with their oral presentation, they are really thinking that they're flying high and they are breathing a sigh of relief. Let's hear what the Hobbit team, coached by Steve Smith, felt like after they finished their oral presentation today.
Thanks, Tanya. I'm here with Steve Smith, coach of the Hobbits. So Steve, tell me a little bit about your presentation.
Well, the students had to go in and make a presentation in front of the judges to share what they've been learning about and what they've been accomplishing as they prepared for the competition today. So they were able to come up with a creative idea to share the information as if a teacher was talking to a class of students and giving them a quiz. So they came up with all their questions as multiple choice questions or group discussion questions, and then the students would answer those questions, and that was how they gave the information they wanted to share.
And as a coach, how did you prepare your students to do this?
Well, after we had our script written, they basically were practicing their lines over and over and over again. We practiced our blocking and how to move in and out and set up the equipment and how they were to stand and face the audience, the judges, and how to speak loudly and clearly and slowly so that they weren't just rambling on in a voice that nobody could understand.
And did each student have a part in this, or was there one collective person?
Well, Isabella Snyder was our number one person. She was our teacher, and we had about 6 students that had the primary speaking roles. And then at the end of the presentation, the judges always ask for a question and answer session. And so a lot of the students were able to join in with questions and answers at the end of the presentation.
And tell me, how do you think this presentation is important to this challenge day?
Well, it's a lot of work, and it's not always the most favorite thing for a student, but it teaches a really good skill, and that's communication. And students need that for class, they need it for high school, for college, and for life. And so it's a great foundational skill for them to develop early on.
Okay, and so we also have Isabella Snyder. She's the teacher of the Hobbots. So Isabella, just tell me how your experience was as a teacher.
It made me feel like I was an actual teacher, and I was teaching kids, and I was actually learning stuff myself, because it's also stuff that my coach has been teaching me, and it just felt real good.
And what did you do to teach your teammates that?
I just had a good expression, and I tried to help explain it to them, and sometimes they got into groups and they got to discuss as a team, so that's pretty much how I helped.
Okay, thank you, Isabella and Steve, and back to you, Tanya.
The challenge floor is really busy in this last hour and a half of the Shocker MINDSTORMS competition. The teams only have a little bit more time to get their runs for points completed. Sarah, take us onto the challenge floor and show us what the students are doing now.
Thanks, Tanya. I'm here with Andrew Martin, and he's homeschool team, Lord of the Bricks. So, Andrew, tell me about your robot.
Our robot could be running a lot more points, but it isn't because it's not catching the line at the moment. So, trying to get it to catch the line and stop turning, it's curving off.
Hey, and tell me a little bit about this course and how your robot just did for practicing.
The course, on the path that we are taking, you're supposed to go over the ramp and go to the other end of the course and then you turn and touch the egg. Then you're supposed to turn around and go all the way back to the course, the same way you came. There are other ways to go through the course, like one way is to go through the eggs and touch the wall, go back, knock off the treasure, and come back the same way you came again.
And so did your robot was successful in touching the eggs?
It was not successful in touching the treasure because it was not able to find the line.
And so what kind of modifications do you think you'll have to make?
I think we'll have to modify maybe where the light sensor is, or get it to stop turning because it is turning and missing the line somewhat.
And then how long do you think that your robot will take on this course?
A minute or two. I don't know exactly how long.
Great. Okay, well, thank you, Andrew. Great sport. And back to you, Tanya.
Thank you, Sarah. This year's theme has really caught the attention of the kids. The spirit and sportsmanship is high, and the Hobbit type costumes and all of the Hobbit regalia is really all over the place here. Let's go and see some of the bearded and hobbited people that we've got here on our challenge floor today.
We're here with Brian Braze and Patrick Mallard. Tell me, Patrick, how many years have you came to this challenge day?
This is my 6th year with the Mindstorms Challenge.
And Brian?
This is my first year.
And tell me a little bit about your costumes. Why did you dress up today?
Well, I dressed up in the spirit of fun to help the kids get into the spirit and just to enjoy the day.
Same for me. I just wanted to give the kids something fun to look at, and this is what I'm doing for Halloween anyway, so I thought I'd just get on it early.
And what made you think of the idea?
I'm a big J.R. Tolkien fan. I love The Hobbit. And with my height, it's a lot easier to do a dwarf than a wizard.
With my height, it was a lot easier to do a wizard than a dwarf.
And tell me a little bit more about your costumes. Where did you get them? How did you create them?
These I just piecemealed from old Halloween costumes.
The cloak was made by my wife. It actually used to be part of a Jedi costume. This is actually a graduation robe from college, and the rest is just stuff I had laying around.
And tell me a little bit more specifically, Brian, about your cane.
The staff I made, actually, I just cut down a sapling, stripped it, and used a Dremel tool to make all of the markings. It's something that I've started doing just this year.
And then tell me a little bit about your children that you have here. How proud are they of you for just wearing these costumes today?
Oh, my son thinks it's great. He enjoyed it.
My cousin is in the competition, and she's a big fantasy fan, so she really liked me coming as a wizard.
I'd like to take you back to the pit area. Jessica's with the Billbot team. Jessica, show us what the Billbots are doing now.
Thanks, Tanya. I'm over here with the Billbots. I have Isabel and Joseph. Joseph, can you tell me what's your favorite part of Challenge Day?
Well, my favorite part, I would say, would be finally getting all your test runs done and then working on your official run, because when you work on that one, your adrenaline just starts pumping and you're so nervous and it's really fun.
Isabel, I notice your team likes to dress up. Is that something you look forward to?
I like to laugh at it and think, oh, how funny. When Mr. Mallet arrived, he's dressed as a dwarf. When he arrived, I was like, who are you? He's like, I know you can't recognize me without the glasses, and I have more hair. He said that.
Have you done or have you perfected any challenges today? And if so, which ones have you?
Yes, we have. We actually perfected Hobbits Beware, and that is the only one yet. We are working on perfecting Bringing Back Wichita. We are so close, but yeah.
And Dwarven CNC has finished it except for the secret line.
Yeah, they're working on that. They're working on the secret line now. They got 800, and then it's like, what if we do the secret line just to get more points? So they're working on that.
Anything else you need to fix for your robots, or you think you're ready for the rest of the day?
Well, I think we need to get a little more points, maybe try and get 3,000.
What about you?
Well, I would like to finish Journey of a Lifetime because I've seen a lot of people haven't done that one yet. Like, they haven't even gotten to the trees. We're stuck on the ramp right now, but it'd be fun to finish it.
Well, thank you so much, Joseph and Isabel. I wish you the best of luck. And back to you, Tanya.
Thank you, Jessica. We're going to take another short break, but when we come back, we're going to talk about Kansas Best, our high school robotics competition. Remember to go to our website, wichita.edu/mindstorms, to find out more about the Shocker Mindstorms competition and follow our Twitter conversation at #Mindstorms13.
I went to college and decided I wanted to be a biology major. I hated it, and one day decided, why am I not doing what it is that I really enjoy and love? So transferred to Wichita State University and started making things happen. No sooner than I got there was I shepherded into a fantastic program that helped me to do what I needed to do. While at Wichita State, I had the opportunity to train like a professional in professional environments.
Julius was a stellar performer at WSU. He played the leading player in Pippin, which really showed off his acting skills and his singing and his dancing skills. And so Julius ended up being hired for our professional company. We watched him just get better and better with everything he did.
There's only so much that you can learn in a classroom before you have to step out and start to do practical application. And Music Theater Wichita was the place where I got my professional training.
We got to watch him grow, and we got to see him in his shows in town and then on our stage. So it's a real privilege. It's great to watch what's happening for Julius, and he deserves every bit of it.
Just being in the vicinity of Wichita with all of those fantastic theaters was a huge help and a huge head start for me and my fellow classmates. Without that, I don't think I'd be where I am right now. What I really wanted to do was to make a living doing what it was that I loved. And here I am, I get to sing, dance, act, and play for a living, and at the end of all that, people applaud for it. I'm living my dream.
Welcome back to our live coverage of the 2013 Shocker MINDSTORMS Robotics Competition. We're live here at the Heskett Center at Wichita State University. We've been here all day, and we're starting to wrap up. The competition's only got a little over an hour left before all of the scores will be tallied, and students are going to find out who gets to take home those lovely Lego trophies and put them in their trophy case. So we've got another team that just finished their oral presentation. That, again, is one of the hardest challenges of the day. It's not just building and programming the robots, but it's actually putting together a presentation to describe the robot they've built and how it works, how their team worked together to solve the solution. Allison Wright's RoboTroop team is a team of Girl Scouts from 4th through 8th grade. They just got done with their presentation. Let's hear what they've got to say.
Thanks, Tanya. We're here with the Girl Scouts RoboTroop, and I have Allison Wright, the coach, with me today. So, Allison, tell me a little bit about the presentation. How did that go?
The presentation went very well this year. The girls practiced very hard. This was the best one. We've been prepared for this one the best out of all the years that we've been competing, and they did a fantastic job presenting it. So.
And what year has this been for you? What number year?
This is the 5th year that the Girl Scouts has had a team in MINDSTORMS.
And were they nervous at all this time around?
I think they were a little bit nervous, but we practiced a lot, and they've all practiced on their own at home. Brushing their teeth. They were supposed to read it while they were brushing their teeth, and they all did that. So they knew what they needed to say, and they did a great job.
And how do you feel about the judges, scoring-wise?
I think they asked some really good questions. Our girls were prepared for them. We've had parents in at every practice asking questions, whatever questions they can come up with to get them ready. And judges asked some of the same questions and some different ones that they handled very well.
And now we have Brittany Ayers Welch. So Brittany, tell me a little bit about your perspective. How do you think you did?
I think that we all did really, really good and better than we have previously.
And what was something that really stood out to you the most that you remember doing during the presentation?
I remember trying to smile.
Okay, and did you do that? Were you successful?
I think so.
And were you nervous at all?
I was nervous before, but when I was in there, I wasn't too nervous.
And how do you think the rest of your teammates did?
I think they did really, really good. They got in line in the correct order.
And thank you, Tanya. Back to you.
I have Dr. Ravi Pinsey with me here today. Ravi is not only one of our engineering professors, but he's also the Vice President of Information Services here at Wichita State University. Ravi, I know that technology and STEM education are near and dear to your heart, and the LEGO MINDSTORMS competition tries to encourage students at a very young age to become future Shocker engineers. I know you've come here several times. What impresses you about the competition here?
I think obviously the Shocker engineer part that you said, it's very near and dear to my heart. But more importantly, as you walk around the room and you can't help but notice the energy, the enthusiasm, and the young kids and their passion And if I could just turn all of these into Shocker engineers, I think we'll be set for life.
I would agree. And I know that the industry professionals we've heard from today would not only like them to be Shocker engineers, but their future employees. Very, very tech savvy. And that's one of the things you work on, right?
Absolutely. I mean, as you look around these young people, I actually see future leaders of Kansas. I see a CEO of Spirit right here in this group, or perhaps the president of Wichita State. Sorry, John Bardo.
I would agree with you. I know that when you teach in your classes, you're very popular for making hands-on activities and also connecting what you're teaching your students to real world and to industry because you have so many connections. That's what this is all about as well. So tell me what you think about trying to do that.
No, absolutely. And the College of Engineering at Wichita State takes great pride in imparting experience-based engineering education, and this is what it's about. And when people actually do things and they see things happen, they can relate to technology, they can relate to science behind that technology, they can relate to math behind that technology. So it's not just about technology, but it's about fundamentals, and that's where that STEM part that comes into play.
Absolutely. And I've heard you talk about gamification several times, and the idea that how can we get kids to spend as much time on their calculus homework as they spend on a game when they keep losing over and over and over, right? And they pick it back up.
Absolutely.
That's happened today. These kids have had a robot fail, and then they've gone back to the pit area and they've worked on it and you know, come back together to create a solution. I think that's important to you. I wish we could do more of this in class.
Oh, absolutely, because when learning becomes fun, then you're not afraid to try. And one may fail, but you want to try, get back up again and try. And that's what this activity teaches our kids. And I agree with you, if we can impart these type of game mechanics and game dynamics and fun in some of our regular classes, and I know our faculty are working on it, we'll be in a great situation.
That's true. And this event is actually a really great partnership between the College of Engineering and the College of Education. We've got education professors that are helping teachers understand how to, you know, integrate STEM into our lower grades, our 4th, 5th, and 6th grades, so that they can be future engineers. And I know that they're very worried about failing because right now failing means low test scores, and that doesn't pan out right. So I think that modeling this helps show that this is really how you learn, by failing. What do you think of that?
Well, I absolutely agree with you, because when you talk about learning, when the learning is fun, you're not afraid to fail. You're not afraid to fail. And I'm so glad that our partnership with College of Education, and that's what it's about. It's about collaboration, about colleagues working together, and that's what these kids are learning here too, working in teams and making things happen.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Dr. Penzi, for stopping by and giving us some of your wonderful words. I'd like to go to the professional challenges again. I think Sarah's talking to one of our teams right now. Sarah, to you.
I'm here with Anna Hexon, and she's on Greeks of the Shire team, and she's homeschool, and their robots just finished not too long ago, Paths to Precious Treasure. So tell me how that went for your robot.
It was interesting. It hasn't been very consistent, so we didn't get very many points. We got 50 on our official run. So.
Tell me a little bit about like climbing the bridge. How did that go?
It hasn't, like, if you don't line up perfectly, then it can go off one of the two sides, and so you have to line up just right for it.
And then just tell me, what's your robot's name? Does it have a name?
Its name is Smeagol.
And how did you think about that name?
Because it's to the precious treasure, and we figured since Smeagol was trying to get the treasure back, we'd name it Smeagol.
And how many times have you practiced this particular course?
We've done it probably about 100 times today.
And then with each modification, what do you have to do, I guess? So when you go back, what do you do?
We just set it down, try to make it as perfect as we can get it, and just run it, see how it goes.
And then how many people are on your team? How many people have helped you build this robot?
On our sub-team, which is for each scenario, there's 3 of us, and it's a builder, and me, the programmer, and a tester. And so the builder actually built the robot, but since I'm the programmer, I'm programming, and our tester is testing. So.
And tell me, I know this isn't your first time being at Challenge Day. Tell me, how many times have you been at Challenge Day, and how has that been for you?
This is my 5th year, but our family's been doing it for 9 or 10 years now. It's been kind of off and on, good and bad. A couple years have been really good, and a couple have been really bad. So.
But it runs in the family, so this is like a tradition for you?
I'm the last one in our family to do it, so.
Well, great. Thank you, Anna. And we'll go back to you, Tanya.
Thank you, Sarah. The Shocker MINDSTORMS competition focuses on 4th through 8th grade students, but it's modeled very closely after another very successful competition that we host here in the College of Engineering at Wichita State called Kansas Best. And we had the Kansas Best competition earlier in the fall, and I'd like to share with you just a little bit of a preview of what our high school students do in a robotics competition.
Welcome to Kansas Best 2012. Give yourself a hand.
This is my 4th year of Kansas Best. The first 2 years I've done a lot with the build, and I helped a lot and actually design the robot, and that was fun because I got to do a lot of hands-on activities, which I like to do.
What I like about Kansas Best is how many schools are involved and how I get to meet all kids from around the area who are involved in Best.
These are fine young people who all have shown tremendous potential to make a real difference in the lives of all of us as they mature and get into their science and engineering careers.
The most fun part is going to the game day or mall day and seeing what everyone else comes up with, and just seeing how your ideas vary from theirs and see who really has the best robots. This year there's a lot more functions that go into it, and it's a lot harder to build and plan for all those. So it's been pretty challenging, but the reward's pretty great so far.
Learning the engineering process I thought would be hard at first, but then, being mentored and stuff, it turned out to be simple, so I think I might like it, and I think I might go more into it. I'll be definitely doing Best next year, so.
And I've got Larry Frutiger here with me today. Larry is a retired Boeing engineer, but also the co-chair of the Kansas Best competition. Larry, tell me a little bit about Kansas Best and your participation over the years.
Well, BEST stands for Boosting Engineering, Science, and Technology, and it's really a normal follow-on to this competition behind us here. Lego MINDSTORMS leads directly into Kansas Best, and of course in the country today there's a major emphasis on STEM, engineering, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, and this is really a normal flow through into that competition. So we like to get them started early so that they get interested early, and then it makes it easier for them when they go into high school.
How long has Kansas Best been going on here at WSU?
We started Kansas Best here in 1999 as a project of the Dean Circle of the College of Engineering, which was an advisory group. The program nationwide's been going on since 1993. So it's getting some longevity.
Yes, definitely. And how many teams do you have usually participate in Kansas Best?
We started out with 14. We've had as high as 32.
Oh, wow.
And our normal number is 25, 26 teams.
That's a lot.
Yes.
And because it's part of a national competition, the teams that win in Kansas actually get to go further, higher up into the bracket and compete against other states. Is that right?
Yeah, the last couple of years we've taken as high as 6 teams from Kansas Best to the regional competition in Fort Smith, Arkansas, where 40 teams from Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas compete in that regional.
That is exciting.
It is. Very exciting.
And that's what our students here at the Shocker MINDSTORMS competition have to look forward to going to Kansas Best. Larry, thank you very much for being with me today and sharing some of what our kids have to look forward to.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so I'd like to go back onto the challenge floor and see another professional mission. Jessica, what do you have to show us?
All right, thanks, Tanya. I'm here with Keller from Geeks of the Shire, and not only is he great at building robots, but look at his name tag here. Keller, can you tell me a little bit about this and how you got the idea?
My dad had made an arm like this a few years ago, and so I decided to make one like it, except with 3 fingers instead of 2. And then I added my name badge right here on the back for the name badge contest.
And I noticed over here, if you flip it over, there is a little lever. Does that do anything?
Pull that out and this out, and you can slip your hand out of the arm and put it back in.
Is this your first year of MindBots, or is this your second? How many years have you been doing this?
This is my second year.
Awesome. And I would like to thank you for showing me that. I can't believe you made that. Thank you. Back to you, Tanya.
We are wrapping up our live coverage here today of the Shocker MINDSTORMS competition. Thank you for watching and tuning in. We've broadcast this live on WSU TV, Cox Cable Channel 13. We've streamed it online at wichita.edu/WSU-TV. That same site will get you to the archive that you can view later. And all of the short videos that we've been showing will wrap up into smaller segments and put on our Wichita State YouTube site. I want to thank all the participants, the coaches, the parents, industry volunteers, the College of Engineering, and the students for all of the spirit and great learning that we've had at this event today. I also want to personally thank my WSU TV production team. You guys are great, and sharing what's happened here on the floor with the world has just been super. We will be back next year, so catch us for the 2014 Shocker MINDSTORMS competition.